Katia and I wanted to find out if people are still being treated as outcasts in a democratic society. 20% of the Indian population are outcasts. The outcasts are the untouchables. Untouchability has been officially abolished, but it is still practiced, especially in the rural areas of India. Today, the untouchables prefer to be called Dalits. The founder of Prepare, Dr. Jacob Raj, is a Dalit himself.
India is a democracy. When we say democracy, then one aspect of equality is a major issue. Right. And within the democracy, when we say that all people are equal, then the situation of India should be understood in its right place. One is that we have outcasts who are not equal with the rest of the people. It is a fact.
These should live near cremation grounds, recognizable and make a living by their own innate activities. But the dwellings of the untouchables should be outside the village. They must use discarded bowls, and dogs and donkeys should be their wealth. Their clothing should be the clothes of the dead, and their food should be in broken dishes. Their ornaments should be made of black iron, and they should wander constantly. A man who carries out his duties should not seek contact with them. They should do business with one another and marry those who are like them.
According to the Hindu religion, because of the karma theory, Dalits are born damned. From this theory, karma theory, the pollution also comes. The untouchability as a social discrimination based on purity and impurity is being practiced for centuries.
God of creation Brahma gave birth out of the 4 divisions of his body. From his head came the priests. From his shoulders, the rulers and warriors. The merchants came from his thighs, and the servants came from his feet. Outside the caste system are the Dalits. They are considered subhuman. Hindus believe the caste into which you are born depends on your karma, or how good you were in a previous life. For the Dalits, it is a different story. They are born outside the caste system and will never be able to enter into it, even in a future life.
There are castes like Dhobi, who are the washermen, or the lower castes. You see, Dalits have to serve them. The other religions don't do that.
And particularly this religion and power is used to subordinate Dalits by and large, because they were the muscle power. They were the muscle power to produce food. They are the working class. It is only by them and through them the sustenance of the rest of the society could be guaranteed.
Dalits have to serve the caste people by playing drums at festivals and funerals. The caste people won't touch these drums because they are made of animal skin. Dalits have to clear dung from the path of a caste person. Dalits have to bury the dead, clean the streets, and generally do all the dirty work. To show their subordination, Dalit women are expected to lift their skirts when entering a caste village. They have to look after the caste man's holy but unproductive cows. They have to cultivate the caste man's land, even if it means no profit for them. This degrading system makes the Dalits believe that they are worthless themselves.
Dalit means broken people. The word Dalit was first used by one Mahatma Phule. He was a poet from Maharashtra. He himself was a Dalit, and as a poet, he was describing the plight and life of the people. And he is symbolically, describing his people as a broken people. And in the local language, it is called a Dalit.
The Dalits are at the bottom of the social order, which leaves them uneducated and unaware of their rights. Prepare are educating the Dalit community and are focusing on Dalit women. They have chosen women because women are not directly controlled by the caste people. Dalit women suffer discrimination because they are outcasts and because they are women.
The faith as well as the practice within our Indian society is women is considered as a private property. Private property in terms of the relationship between man and woman.
Jaya Marie and her husband Lana Pragasum were looking after us while we were staying in the Dalit community. Lana Pragasum tied a sacred thread around Jaya Marie's neck when they got married, which symbolizes that he owns her.
Once he has tied the knot, we are like slaves.
In life and death, they totally belong to us. She cannot go anywhere without my permission.
Jaya Marie is an untouchable. She is made to live separately from the rest of society. The Dalit colony is 3 minutes walk away from the caste village.
It's common in India. In all of India.
All over India it is common. Nowhere you can find that colonies will be the first, then the village. Usually the village will be the first, then only the colony comes.
And it's always separated.
It is always separate.
Caste is a strict division of labour. In this village live a caste of potters. Caste people believe that Dalits are polluted. Intermarriage between Dalits and caste people is taboo, and to reduce the risk of contact, the Dalits are made to live separately. The Dalits are not allowed to use the well and temple of the caste people.
Power is the main source for everything. So in villages, the power remains with the upper caste people on two aspects. One is the land resource they have, the other one is the money resource they have. When we compare the Dalits, they don't have even land as well as they don't have money. For these two reasons, they have to depend on the upper caste people.
This is the landowner. She rents her land to the Dalits. For this, the Dalit give half of their crop to her. To begin cultivation, the Dalits have to borrow money to buy seeds and fertilizer. They are forced to ask the landowner for money. The landowner charges interest, which is often as high as 120%. While Chandra is paying back some of her loan, she has to live on what little is left. She looks after 4 cows for the landowner.
I have to look after 4 cows and feed them as well. I need all the hay I can get from the fields to help feed them. If we work in the fields, we get all the hay for free. If I have to buy hay to feed them, it costs money that we cannot spare. Even if the work does not give us money in our hands, it's worth it for the money we save on feed.
The milk Chandra gets is just enough to feed her grandchildren.
By giving this land to the Dalit on a sharecropping basis or on a lease basis, the landlord has absolutely no obligation except to receive the share. He does not pay the labor, he does not pay for the inputs.
So the whole risk is with the...
The entire risk is on the Dalit. The entire responsibility is on the Dalit. In case if the crop fails, but still the Dalit is to pay.
It is often impossible for the Dalit to repay the debt, and this can lead to a life of bonded labour.
people are not allowed to go inside the upper caste people's house, and the Dalit people will not be given food in their houses. Dalit people will not be given food in their vessels. They will be only given in the hands, like, or in leaves.
After the peanut harvest, the Dalit gets to keep one basket of peanuts, while the rest goes to the landowner.
Then you may find that this woman, not only she works very hard physically, but also in terms of time. From early morning, from 6 o'clock onwards, she goes on working and working.
After Jaya-Marie crushes and sorts out the peanuts, she only has one bottle of oil, as a result of many hours of hard physical labor.
Beautiful. Super. Grandmaster. Super beautiful.
Jaya-Marie, show. Lasse. Super.
Super.
Jaya-Marie only has one sari for work. Whenever she does the family washing, she takes a bath and washes her sari at the same time. In one sense, Dalit women have more freedom than many other women in India, because they go out to work in the fields. But this also makes them more vulnerable.
And this woman, who is considered as an untouchable, is a touchable by the caste man when she goes to the field. Therefore, you may see that more and more number of women are raped, and more women are subject to sexual harassment and sexual assault.
All over India, Dalits live on the graveyards of caste people.
Our houses are usually built near the cemetery, so whenever the bodies are burned, we cannot sleep or eat because of the bad smell.
What does it mean for these people to have to live in the middle of a graveyard?
See, they are not considered as human beings, first of all. That's why they are asked to live nearby the graveyards, because usually in Indian people believe that graveyard means there a lot of devil will live, a lot of devil spirit will be there. So since they are not considered as human beings, they are not even respected, like, no. So they can live anywhere where even the devil lives, the spirits live.
The girls took us to the caste village and proudly showed us where they work. Child labour is common in India. The girls work to earn money for their families and their dowries. For 12 hours work, they earn 17 rupees, which is about 30 pence. There is girls' work and there is boys' work. The boys are the future security for their parents and are their only hope of escaping bonded labour. Therefore, the boys are sent to school while the girls are working.
Jody is 12 years old and works in the embroidery. She can only write her name. The Dalits make up 50% of the total illiterates in India. Chandra is a widow. Traditionally, widows are not allowed to remarry in India. Chandra had to struggle to raise 4 sons. Now she's taking care of her grandchildren.
My husband died 20 years ago, and then I had no income. Even though my son went out to work, I still did not have enough money to send the children to school. I don't know how I managed to look after them. Somehow I did.
Jody's parents are divorced because her father's an alcoholic. Jody now lives with her grandmother.
I don't get to see my mother very often because my father doesn't like us being together. If he sees us together when he's drunk, he feels threatened and will beat us both up. My father drinks all the time and gets violent, which is why my mother separated from him.
Alcohol causes a lot of problems in the Dalit community.
It's again a systematic and planned idea of the upper caste people, because all along in the history we could see that the upper caste people's idea was that the Dalit should not think. So to keep them always with the toxication, it helps them to suppress the Dalits.
Dalit men face great pressure from being outcast. The only place they can assert their authority is within their own home and community.
And she is also scared of her husband, because if this household cooking and washing the children and feeding the children, if they are not done on time or before the child goes to sleep, then she is going to be beaten up by her husband.
This woman is offering a puja for the good health of her husband. She told us, as long as her husband is healthy, then she will be healthy. She is not allowed to pray at the temple, just outside her house, because she is a woman.
She is a symbol of Sita, means she is a symbol of suffering. She is a symbol of purity. She is a symbol of selflessness. And that is how women are seen. The question of power in public, power of women in public is, it's not compatible with the Hindu code. It's not compatible with the social structure.
In order to express her selflessness, Jaya Marie will feed her husband and sons first, while the women and girls eat whatever is left over.
Like many Dalits, Lana Prakasam has converted to Christianity to try and escape the stigma of caste. However, he still brings offerings to the Hindu gods. He believes that his father was killed by a ghost because a sacrifice was not made before he started a new project. To make an offering for every new event is part of the Hindu culture.